Good morning, day 157. Yes, you see palm trees. And I've titled today's post, New Ways. And guess what? I'm trying something new today that I don't think I'm going to try again. Say hi to my doggos. And to the sunrise. There are lots of rabbits down here in our neighborhood. And I thought, let's try and see if I can do two things at once, do something new and do this video and walk the dogs. I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to keep this short and kind of keep them away from, we're going to try to keep them reined in and keep me doing this. So I'm going to keep the sun behind me and the dogs in front of me away from the rabbits, and we're just going to do the best we can in a new way. So wow, as soon as I opened up my Bible this morning to Isaiah 43, I knew, I was like, whoa, something different is happening here. Something new is happening here. And I even felt it in my spirit. I had to read it about 4 times and even open it up a 5th time at the end of my prayer and meditation time, and even had a shift during my prayer and meditation time, because right in smack dab in the middle of chapter 43, he is talking about a new way. Don't you see something new is happening? But right on the heels, or right before this, they're recounting the story of Israel and the escape from, or the rescue, or the deliverance from Egypt through the parting of the Red Sea. And there is a juxtaposition of analogies right on the heel of that I didn't even catch. You get so caught up in the telling of the story, sometimes you have to really pay attention to the way the story is told and the nuance. There's messages even in there. And so we go from this, I made a dry way for you in the rivers, to I'm making a new way of water coming in the wasteland, in the desert. We've got an opposition there. Similar analogies, totally different new way. And don't you see? He even says, don't you see something new is happening? And for the Bible scholars that really study the Bible and know, how the significance of the book of Isaiah, we know that the New Testament and Jesus, the foretelling of Jesus coming, is all over this one. But I'm a rookie, so I'm just now picking up on some of these nuances. And and even seeing it in a practical way myself through the eyes of a fairly new coach, somebody who's new to the psychology world and positive psychology. I'm not new because I have a brain and I've been working on myself for a long time, but really academically learning a lot about brain science. And when we're talking about habit change and mindset, when you're going from an old way to a new way, this is exactly what it feels like. At first, and depending on our mindset, it can feel like a river, like we're cutting a dry path through a river, but then the river just goes right back. Like those rivers are strong. Those are our old habits and our old ways, and sometimes we're able to get a deliverance from it. But that's very rare. That's really not how the brain works. But there is a possibility at times for that. If all the right conditions are set up, all the right expectations, in all the places of life. And one thing that comes to mind, and I use this analogy a lot because it is possible for our brain to just kind of flip like a switch, is marriage. We learn from an early age, this is just the way it is. When you make that commitment, you switch from somebody who is available, somebody who's out there looking, to somebody that's just off the table now. You're just all in, you're committed. And I've got a walker coming here, so we're gonna, hey, good morning. But it's a whole different mindset. But it does switch like a flip because it's set up that way. And we have proper expectations going in, and it's just the way it is. We accept it. But everything in our whole adult lives and in our cultures kind of has it this way for most people. And we're able to like mentally go from like just kind of flip a switch. So there might be one example, which is interesting because then we can see the potential within our minds to, have such a dramatic switch. But again, conditions and all of that have to be set up properly. Thank you for putting up with a moving camera. I won't do this again with the dogs. But when you're learning something new and those conditions are not set in place, and maybe even are countercultural, oftentimes for people of faith, that's true. When you're trying to make a big life change with health, but you come from a family that has different values and habits, all kinds of examples. That's where you on your own have to sort of create this momentum and motivation and find ways to stay on the path where it can go from what feels like a trickle in the desert to, a new way of living and something that can sustain life versus you just being the parched one in the desert having to look for your own source of food or water or refreshment. And that is what it can feel like in the world of habit change if you don't know that it's just a trickle and that you are the one, that you have the river ahead of you. You have a flowing source of life that's ahead of you. Because all you see right now is the wasteland and you've got to keep going. And what God does for us is he constantly reminds us, hey, I'm that source. You just got to come back to me. Stop trying to do it on your own, because we can get to the promised land, to a land of milk and honey and sustenance and all that a lot quicker if you just let me help. But we have to volunteer for that. We have to voluntarily ask for that help. And that is a new way, and it doesn't come automatic to us because we really do see ourselves as like individual, and we are individuals with free will, our own intelligence. We really can make our way and through this thing on earth, this life, without ever turning to any type of higher source or having that belief system. But when you notice that people do have that, things go a little bit differently. And I gotta go. Have a great day. Rise and shine. Bye. New ways lead to new results.